All right, Marcia, thank you. Meanwhile, the Portland Police Bureau just released a new podcast focusing on demonstrations and protests.
It's offering a behind-the-scenes look at how police prepare for the crowds, and Fox 12's Nora Hart explains.
The podcast about crowd management pulls back the curtains a bit on what goes into keeping the city safe during protests. In light of the upcoming August 17th demonstrations, it's timely information as police prepare. In the podcast, leaders within the PPB say their work to keep demonstrations safe really starts before anyone gathers at all. They use an incident command system to gather information about the event. Things like if it's a permitted gathering, where it'll be, a crowd size estimate, and if they plan to march. In the meantime, police liaisons also reach out to different groups involved in the protests prior to the event, which the PPB says helps them manage the event before it even starts. Once the event is sized up, the team gets together for a tactics meeting, and police come up with priorities for the event.
We look at past history, so have these groups come together before, and if so, what happened, if anything? Has there been any violence when these groups have come to demonstrate before? Are there other events in the city going on the same day?
Once they answer those questions, the operations chief, who's the one on the radio giving orders the day of the demonstration, helps determine the tactics to be used. The team also looks at what other resources might be needed the day of, whether it's city parks, PBOT, or the mayor's office. Also, the PPB's rapid response team, which has received extra training in crowd control, gets ready for the event as well. They also spoke about why they don't just arrest people there on the spot if they're being violent in the crowd.
Unfortunately, it's difficult to do that safely. Traditionally, the people that are engaging in criminal activity do so from behind the first several rows of people who are just there engaging in speech with the police.
The podcast also addressed what officers wear during protests. Many have voiced opinions on what they call riot gear, saying it's intimidating. The PPB says all of the equipment they wear is designed to protect officers, saying in the past, protesters have thrown things at officers, like bottles, bricks, even fireworks. During the event, the PPB says officers monitor what's happening from their command center via live stream and, of course, what officers are seeing there on the ground. Then decisions are made based on the crowd's demeanor and the potential for violence. After the event, they debrief and discuss what went well and what didn't, so they know what to do next time. We do have a full link to the podcast on our website, kptv.com. In studio, Nora Hart, Fox 12 Oregon.
With the demonstrations 2 days away, stay with Fox 12. We'll bring you complete coverage Saturday, and you can get updates at any time by going to kptv.com.